Chavez. It is Tuesday, December 19th, and you are watching NYSE TV Live. The New York Stock Exchange is known as the epicenter of global financial markets, but today, the exchange is officially entering beast mode. Marshawn Lynch, the former NFL running back who won a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks during the 2013 season, will be ringing the opening bell on behalf of Thursday Night Football on Prime Video and his segment In Your City. Lynch will be joined by South Shore High School football team who captured the 2023 PSAL AA football championship earlier this month. 25 student athletes and 5 coaches from the team are here with Marshawn today. And from the cubes behind me above the trading floor to the video screens on the NYSE building on the corner of Wall and Broad Streets in Lower Manhattan, we also have Thursday Night Football branding all over this building. Lynch has experienced success both on and off the field. On the field, there's no question about the legacy that he left on the game. Not only did he help lead the Seahawks to victory in the Super Bowl 48 and earn 5 Pro Bowl selections during his 12-year career, but he also is perhaps best known for one of the greatest plays in NFL history. And we'll talk about all of that and more, but first we're gonna throw it to the boardroom for more live coverage. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy holidays. It's so great to be with you all in this final real work week before we break for the Christmas holiday next week. You know, I always know it's going to be a great day at the New York Stock Exchange when our guests actually partake fully in our breakfast. So to see the South Shore High School football team eating up fully and having a great meal warms our heart and brings great relief to our food and beverage people who love extending this kind of hospitality. My name is Josh King. I am head of corporate communications for the New York Stock Exchange and its parent company, ICE, also head of corporate affairs at the NYSE. I want to bring up to the stage here 2 of my colleagues. First, Sharon Bowen, the chair of the New York Stock Exchange, the Honorable Sharon Bowen, the first ever woman to hold that title. Sharon. Also, my colleague, Rob Eskridge, Director of Government Affairs, who played left tackle for the Maroon Tigers of Morehouse College. Not the first person to ever hold that title. Rob. So on behalf of all of us at the New York Stock Exchange and Lynn Martin, our president, who you will be seeing later on the floor, I'd just like to invite Sharon up for a minute to make a few remarks.
I'll be very brief. I'm delighted to be here to welcome you. I'm always excited when young people come to the Stock Exchange, so I hope that you enjoy the experience of the moment. And can't wait to meet you, Mr. Marshawn Lynch. We're honored to have you here today. So have fun.
So it's our great honor to welcome all of you to the New York Stock Exchange for the opening bell celebrating what I believe is the 120th anniversary of the Public School Athletic League in New York City. And also, guys, the 42-28 victory of the South Shore Vikings over A. Philip Randolph to win the PSAL football championship 2 weeks ago on December 2nd. So, since its founding in 1903 by Luther Gulick, the PSAL now provides athletic opportunities to 25 varsity sports for more than 45,000 student athletes from over 400 member schools. There are a lot of public school athletes in New York City, and we applaud them all. But I wanted to introduce our special guest today, our special bell ringer, from another public school in Oakland, California. A 4-sport student athlete who, between 2000 and 2004, played for the Bulldogs of Oakland Technical High School, a 5-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, NFL touchdown leader 2 times with 10,413 career yards in the league. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Beast Mode, Mr. Marshawn Lynch. Come on up, Marshawn. As part of the broadcast team with Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit of Amazon Prime's Thursday Night Football, Marshawn is with us today to produce one of his Enyo City segments. This year has brought him, over the course of the season, if you've been watching Thursday Night Football, to try some hot dogs in Chicago, to orbit the NASA Space Center in Houston, to hang out with the Buccaneers in Tampa, and to share good times on Bourbon Street in the French Quarter of New Orleans. And also, my favorite episode, Marshawn, was that high-speed buggy ride you got in the Amish country of Pennsylvania. It's only fitting that on this, to accompany the final Thursday night football game of the year between the New York Jets, our home team, and the Cleveland Browns, Marshawn finally arrives in our city, specifically the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. So you're going to have a great time in the next few minutes. I just want to talk a little bit about South Shore for a second. Head coach Benjamin Ricard, who I talked to earlier, Coach Brown, Coach Legree. Want to see your slide, and if I can see the way your team looked a couple of weeks ago. You and your team had a pretty good season. 11 wins, 0 losses, 1 tie. Practically perfect in every way. Congratulations. Sheldon Robertson, who I met earlier, where's Sheldon? Sheldon, stand up, sir. Standout game in the football championship, 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. Marshawn, I think the last time you scored 4 touchdowns in a game came on November 9th, 2014, leading the Seahawks to a 38-17 win over the New York Giants. Sheldon, you are in great company. Marshawn, with that, I think we would love to have Sharon and Rob present you with the Medallion of the Exchange.
It's the official bell ringer.
Thank you.
We're right to this ringing of the bell. In the back of this is the buttonwood tree, which is the name of the New York Stock Exchange. And welcome.
Thank you. So, I appreciate it.
That's great.
With the lady?
Yeah.
Marshawn, do you have any comments for the kids?
You said our record was 11 and 0.
11-0-1.
11-0 and what? Yeah, that's some big shit, realistically. But I'm still trying to wake up. But I mean, that's a pretty good accomplishment, man. It's not too many teams that could go undefeated like that and finish off the year. With a championship. So congratulations to y'all. Keep y'all head up, stay blessed, and keep rocking.
So just so everyone knows, we're about to head down to the floor. I'm looking at the clock now. It is 9:13 a.m. and the opening bell waits for no one. It starts at 9:30, and when Marshawn and Sharon and Rob and all of you ring the bell at 9:30, a $40 trillion marketplace is going to open as stocks representing 2,400 listed companies that are listed here on the exchange. Also, all the stocks of other exchanges are traded here through different technology mechanisms. And what Sharon just presented to Marshawn was the Medallion of the Exchange. And you saw the video earlier about the columns of the New York Stock Exchange building. This building, built in 1903, the same year that Luther Gulick started the Public School Athletic League. The 6 columns on the front stand for our values. On the back of it is this tree, this buttonwood tree, under which the New York Stock Exchange was founded on May 17th, 1792. And I know Marshawn may take his medallion and put it in his trophy room along with his Super Bowl trophy and all of his other accolades. Each of you get to bring home a medallion of your own. And maybe, Coach, at the kickoff of next season, you can hand this to the ref. Heads is the facade of the New York Stock Exchange. Tails would be the buttonwood tree. Bring it and give it to the ref. Be a good luck for your 2024 campaign to retain your championship, guys. Congratulations. So everyone will receive this medallion as we exit the room. Our team will hand one out. Those of you who have a blue stripe across your badge, you're going to be on the podium with Sharon and Rob and Marshawn. So make your way out the door. The elevators are waiting to bring you down to the floor. Marshawn will sign our Distinguished Visitors book.
Now we just heard from Josh King. Again, he is the head of corporate affairs here at the NYSE, along with Sharon Bowen, who is the chairman and a part of the NYSE board, along with Marshawn Lynch. You know, Marshawn Lynch has seen a lot of success with his business ventures off the field. He has partnered with companies like Skittles, Subway, Fanatics, Nike, and Progressive during after his playing career. So much success. But Lynch isn't the only athlete thriving in the business world. Eben Novy-Williams, a sports business reporter for Sportico, joins me now to dive into this topic a little bit more. Eben, welcome and good morning. Welcome
Thank
to
you
the
for
New York
having me,
Stock
Trinity.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely great to have you on NYSE TV Live. I want to talk to you more about why athletes are investing and launching new business ventures compared to, like years ago. I can't even talk.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. And you're right. 20, 30 years ago, most athletes, regardless of how famous they were taking a check to appear in a commercial or show up at an event. And social media changed everything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, when he was playing, was one of the most famous men on the planet. He only spoke to fans via the filter of traditional media.
Yeah.
Nowadays, LeBron James can open up his phone and in 30 seconds say whatever he wants to 100 million people instantaneously.
It's interesting,
And
right?
that's given athletes leverage.
Exactly. What you're saying about social media, how it sort of opened up a whole new opportunity for business there, because you could have, just a completely new demographic and audience that you have to drive to. And it's free marketing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And also athletes are getting richer and savvier, right? So there's more money being poured into athletes right now. They have more disposable income. And a lot of them are just thinking smarter about their financial legacy, what they want to do while they're playing to set themselves up for what they're doing after they're playing. All of those things that were kind of an afterthought 2 decades ago in locker rooms now are the things that a lot of athletes talk about in their downtime. And that's changed the way they think about their money.
And Marshawn Lynch isn't the only, athlete who's starting new businesses, but, him and many others are also investing in businesses and startups. Let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things that I've seen is that athletes are bringing each other into deal flow. Sportico did an event recently with Andre and Aaron Eanes, who are Travis Kelce's business partners, and they were telling me that when he had an opportunity to buy into F1, one of the first things that Travis said is, "Do you think Patrick Mahomes would want to do this?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "We'll find out." And then flash forward a few months, Travis and Patrick, teammates in Kansas City, invest in F1 together in Team Alpine. And we're seeing that all over. There's a lot of athletes in their own locker rooms working together on deal flow, working together on ideas. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, another good example. They've invested together on a few things.
Yeah.
I think one of the most interesting things I've seen recently is that athletes, again, are working together to do these deals in a way that they probably were not, again, 20 years ago.
Yeah, and it's a lot of female athletes also. Serena Williams is one of them. She has her VC firm. She was just here at the exchange not too long ago, ringing the opening bell. I mean, it's really incredible how the landscape has changed. And it's no longer, just men becoming, running this sort of industry.
Without question. Naomi Osaka is an investor in a women's soccer team here in the U.S. Naomi Osaka is a media company in her own right, right? She, as a brand, is her own media company. She's done a great job in terms of getting equity in things that she's working on, developing projects that have big-time media partners. All of that is the kind of things that, again, athletes are thinking about now because they have this stardom that is so powerful among fans, among other companies, et cetera.
And like you said, the landscape has changed so much, like compared to 20 or 30 years ago, right? But I mean, what are some of the biggest trends that you have seen in recent years?
I think some athletes are investing in things that they know.
Yeah.
So it's sports drinks or it's recovery technology and things like that. Other athletes, depending on who they partner with, are going a little bit further afield to find their deals. I think a lot of it depends. I've talked to a lot of athletes about this. One of the things that everybody says is they point to big moments historically where either other athletes or other celebrities had huge windfalls. 50 Cent, when he made whatever it was, $100 million when Coca-Cola bought vitamin water back in 2007.
Yeah.
That was a moment that I think a lot of athletes were saying, oh, I can get a couple $1 million here or there, or if I do the right business deal, I can make tens or 100 billion. Like, there's a lot of money at stake there.
And I think
and that changes things.
And Michael Jordan really pivoted this, right? Like, I think
100%.
that he was like the original OG who really started creating his own brand, especially when it came to designing those shoes. And then his mom, I think, was the one who negotiated that he got a percentage of the whatever shoe was sold. He gets a small percentage of that, and he's making millions and millions of dollars a year still.
Yeah, it's Michael Jordan's deal, and it bears his name, right? The company, everyone wears Jordans, right? That is extremely powerful, and Michael went in and he bought an NBA team eventually, right? which is the holy grail goal of a lot of athletes right now, to rise to the point that they're hitting that level. So Michael, is also another one of those athletes that people look at and they say, that's what I want to be doing, and I, whatever he did, I want to try to follow that path.
For sure, and we're getting images right now. Our viewers are seeing Marshawn and the whole team on the trading floor right now. They're signing this distinguished guest book, but I want to talk more specifically about how Marshawn is actually, a minority owner in the Seattle Kraken. Patrick Mahomes is also a minority owner in the Kansas City Royals. What are some athletes gravitating more towards when it comes to pro sport ownership?
I think a lot of athletes are acutely aware of the fact that many of them are well paid, they're rich, they're celebrities.
Yeah.
But there is a whole other class of wealth above where they are, right?
Yeah.
It's the people that sign their checks every week when they're playing. And that's aspirational. In the same way that musicians want to run their own labels.
Yep.
Because when they were musicians on the lower tier, they felt like the economics were being exploited on their behalf. I think a lot of athletes feel exactly the same way. So joining ownership ranks is a lot of athletes feeling like they finally made the jump from being, in some ways, the employee to being the boss.
And we've also seen some athletes make the jump and start, investing in volatile sectors like NFTs, cryptocurrency. Tell me why do you think that athletes are changing where or how they invest from how they did so a few years ago?
A lot of it is speculation, a lot of it is money, right? All the crypto exchanges 2 years ago were throwing so much money out there that, to be an FTX endorser, we saw it with Tom Brady and FTX, right?
Yep.
He was getting paid tens of millions to do very little. So money talks in some ways. NFTs I look at a little bit different. NFTs were a way for athletes to connect with their fans in a new way. It didn't really take off, but in some ways I think I understand that. But yes, I think a lot of athletes, again, are out there looking for home runs. They're looking for something that they can put a few $1 million in, and if there's an exit that's 10 or 15 or 20x in 2 years, that's obviously a great windfall for them as well.
Well, thank you so much, Evan, for joining me today. We are going to give you a sneak peek of Marshawn Lynch's coverage called In Yo City. We'll be right back.
My name is Miriam. We are in the lovely Amish country, just about 1 hour west of Philadelphia.
Do they know I'm black, bro?
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Nice to meet you.
What's up with it?
You ready to ride Amish style?
You said Amish style?
Yeah.
I see you got your little 32s on there, you know what I'm talking about? Ooh.
We have disc brakes. There's air shock. It's full. Yeah.
I'm with it. Got my feet up in my Amish bucket, and we slide. So you like the OG in the neighborhood that when something go, the OG in the neighborhood? Yeah.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean?
$15,000 for a new buggy.
But 15 bands for a buggy?
Yep.
And all you get is this? You don't even get no music on?
You gotta sing.
Hell no, this ain't it. This ain't the kind of place you going to with your J's on, mama. I'm sorry.
You don't have to go far. It's just hay. It's not dirty. I promise.
All right. I'm smelling feed, cow.
Be fine.
I ain't ready to. All right, go, go. All them cows right there, that's where we getting.
They get 8 to 10 gallons of milk a day.
So there's hella milk in them cows then. Come and show me you get some out of it.
Oh, no, I'm not milking the cows. This is how you get around.
That's electricity.
It's wireless.
It's wireless.
Got these new LED lights.
Man, you know what? Y'all Amish people think y'all slick, man. You know what? Y'all be cutting corners. Oh. And you said you gotta do that until 5 gallons come out of there?
Per milking.
So if you pull one of them, it's all pulling
Gotta
from the
milk them all
same.
at the same time.
All 4 of them? How the you do? How many hands you got, baby? It's time to get out of here. It's time to go.
All right, we'll go this way.
We can get back in the buggy though.
Get back in the buggy and get some fresh air.
See, Weird Al Yankovic didn't put me on like I needed to be put on.
Oh, there goes the hoop.
Oh. Hey, do we got a flat? Hey, we
Yeah.
gotta call the Amish tow truck.
I am joined now with Josh Schaefer. He is the senior markets reporter for Yahoo Finance. Welcome to the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you. Excited to be here. Yeah.
It's great to have you. Now, I mean, we're seeing a really big shift right now, and streaming wars have shifted from shows and movies and live sports. Why do you think this shift is happening, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is you've seen big tech really come in, right? When you think about Apple and maybe the MLS or what Apple's done with MLB, you think about Amazon and the NFL, Amazon, that big partnership, of course, with Thursday Night Football. And then you think about Google getting into the game as well. Google now running NFL Sunday Ticket. So big tech sort of pushing the envelope there when it comes to streaming, and then even traditional companies like, say, Paramount and CBS, then putting their games on Paramount. So I think it's really just you're seeing these streamers wanting to meet customers where they're at. A lot of people don't have cable anymore, so it's sort of become an option to get the games to streamers because we know everyone wants to watch sports. Right?
Do you think that there's ever going to be a time where we go completely off cable and you're just going to find everything on streaming?
I think it would be a little while until we see that, mainly because right now the audiences are so big, right? You take something like the Super Bowl, over 100 million people watch the Super Bowl. There are not that many subscribers on a service to maybe potentially watch just the Super Bowl alone. So from the sports side of it, I think those leagues still want to be able to keep a max viewership, but maybe with smaller games, we're seeing ESPN start to try it out. They're doing some Monday Night Football streams on just ESPN, on the ESPN app, ESPN Plus. So I think you're going to start to see more of it, but I think we're a little bit away from seeing that become the main product.
So you don't think that Amazon Prime or anything like that will be hosting the Super Bowl anytime soon?
Probably not anytime soon, but maybe someday. Yeah, I think it would be a big step for the NFL, right? The NFL loves that the Super Bowl is as big as it is. As I already said, over 100 million viewers usually, right, on a Super Bowl broadcast. So I think they really like to have that big audience. Remember, those ad dollars come in, right, when you have the big audience. So I think for them to lose the audience, they'd maybe lose ad dollars. So a streamer would certainly have to pay a lot if they ever wanted to be the sole provider of the Super Bowl.
What would you say are some of the biggest challenges right now for streaming platforms, especially when it comes to sports?
I think there are a multitude of challenges, one of them just being doing a live broadcast, right? We've seen some of the pure play streamers, like say a Netflix, try it out with some more fun things like Drive to Survive, the F1 racers doing golf, or something more silly in some ways, because serious events take a lot of people to live broadcast, and it's not necessarily something that some of the traditional streamers, the original streamers like a Netflix, are used to. So I think that's one of the main things, and then just a lot of us are getting fatigued from the amount of streamers we need to have, right? So if one streamer ends up owning the NFL and another streamer dominates the NHL, at some point the major sports fan has 5 different streamers, and it's a lot to ask from fans. So I think that's something that's challenging a lot of people too.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. We're now gonna toss it to ring in the opening bell. I am joined now with Pete Tuchman. He is the founder, CEO of Einstein of Wall Street. It's always great to have you on the show.
It's always a pleasure.
So, you know, the market's...
This is the greatest. We're just having a ball here every day.
Every day, right? It's always a party when we're around, especially when we're together like this.
Exactly.
So obviously the markets are open. So let's talk about business now. What are we seeing? What are the biggest trends today?
Look, I thought we are in the final 2 weeks of the year. The market tells us that there is so much appetite for a wide breadth of stocks, right? Not only did the fabulous 7 take this market up to record highs, but for every day, Dow is hitting new records, S&P as well. The Russell 2000 went from a 52-week low 48 days ago to a 52-week high in 48 days. That's unheard of. That means that the breadth of the market, the demand for stocks, small cap, mid cap, you know, the tech sector, everything. The market's on fire, and Santa Claus has definitely come to town, along with this nice gentleman here.
Oh, Marshawn Lynch. But, you know, I want to talk specifically about what sort of trends. I mean, obviously, this has kind of been a volatile year, but, I mean, is this out of the norm? What can investors anticipate as we close out 2023?
So, look, last year was a terrible year.
Yeah.
2020, 2021 were double-digit growth, obviously a big function of coming out of COVID, the stimulus package. 2022 was a dismal year at best, double-digit loss, okay, but never, I don't think before, have we ever seen 2 back-to-back years of major double-digit losses. So historically, we're going in the right direction. Obviously, we've also never seen double-digit raising of interest rates 18 times in a row, and that was obviously a function of the inflation story. And so we've achieved the goal to the best of our ability. The Fed definitely came into play, and they did the best they could, and they've done a pretty good job. Inflation down from 9 to 3%, so that's good. I mean, the market, you know, the market is on fire.
Yeah.
It's definitely, we're going to close out the year. Unless something radical happens in the next 2 weeks, we're going to close out the year. It's important for people to note that you know, when you're having positive years, 2 things will either happen at the end of the year. Obviously, you're going to have some tax selling at the end of the year. People are going to take profits, or you're going to see what's called window dressing, where people are going to mark up the markets to the high so they close out a year in a profitable way.
Yeah.
After last year's sell-off, I think that's what's happening.
As you said, inflation is obviously top of mind for every day. It impacts every single sector. When do you anticipate the Fed is going to start lowering interest rates? I know there was some talk about maybe first quarter of 2024, but what are your thoughts?
So I think the rally we've seen over the last 2 weeks came out of the last Fed meeting, where for the first time he actually discussed it in real time, that definitely second quarter, third quarter of 2024, we're going to start to see a cutting of interest rates. He had never actually even tossed it on the table before, so I think we're going to see it. But look, it's almost premature, in my opinion, to start talking about that when we've not actually decided for sure that we're not still going to raise rates.
Yeah.
So I think that's premature. Look, you know, the job has been done. It's working. What the Fed needed to do, they did. It is achieving its goal. It's not done yet. We're not at the level. They want to be at 2%. That's going to take another 2 quarters probably, and then we can start looking at lowering rates.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Pete. It's always great to have
Pleasure.
you.
It's always a pleasure.
I know you got a job to do, so I'll let you go.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now, earlier this year, actually not too long ago, a few months ago, I spoke to the CEO of Candle Media, who is also the former CEO of TikTok and COO of ByteDance. So let's take a look at that video.
Well, it was interesting. I spent most of my career at the Walt Disney Company, 27 years. I had the privilege of launching Disney Plus around the world, so that was a great run at Disney. TikTok was also a very big company. It was a much different company. It was a tech company versus an entertainment company. But I love the notion of being an entrepreneur. It's fun to do something new and build something that's, I think, built for the future.
Tell me about your mission with Candle Media. What is it trying to accomplish?
Our mission is to speak to audiences in a very deep and authentic way. To tell great stories. If those stories are extensible to social media, we can engage a two-way audience in a very, very big way and keep those franchises alive over the long term. That creates a really great opportunity to have commerce associated with your brands and storytellers.
And speaking of brands, Candle Media, I mean, it has already had huge success in the digital space. It owns Moonbug, it owns Hello Sunshine. What do you attribute the success to?
We try to buy companies that have great product already and the burgeoning nature of a brand. So Hello Sunshine, a company built by Reese Witherspoon and her executive team that had done some great things, including the morning show, but they put women at the center of the story. And that's something that speaks to a female audience in a deep and emotionally connected way that you otherwise wouldn't have. And you're right about Moonbug. You know, we have the largest YouTube channel in Cocomelon. And that's the number 3 or 4 show streamed on Netflix year in and year out.
So I want to talk about your recent partnership with TikTok. As a former CEO, what was the decision-making process behind that?
TikTok is a platform that's doing social media storytelling in a way that has never been done before. We are a content-to-commerce company at Candle, and all of our properties, we want to have a social media storytelling component. That bridges the gap from when you launch something on streaming, until you launch the next season. That can be a year and a half. What you really want to have is that ongoing presence with telling that story, connecting your audiences on social media. So we want to be connected to that. I know the team, very comfortable with it. So that was why we made a nice, substantial deal with them.
Now let's talk about all the advancements happening in the digital space, right? AI, technology. What do you think the most exciting things happening right now in the sector are?
You're taking AI and using it in the entertainment world. That's pretty unprecedented stuff. And I think as a tool, it makes a ton of sense. I don't believe that AI is ever going to replace human creativity. It's not going to tell the great news stories of our generation and the generations to come. You need human beings to do that. But as a tool in your toolkit, it's great.
In this ever-changing landscape of technology, innovation, how do you remain innovative from where you sit? How do you stay ahead of the curve?
When new technology comes out, when new paradigms, when new platforms are launched, just pay attention to it. Like I'm a naturally curious person. So when things are happening, I want to know about what they are, then I want to experience them. In the entertainment industry, we're trying to make culture, we're trying to move culture. And to do that effectively, you need to know what people are paying attention to, what matters to people. You just have to be curious and have to take it all in and care about things.
You could tell as I'm speaking with you how passionate you are about this topic. What would be your one piece of advice for businesses or entrepreneurs who are embarking on this digital media journey? How can they be successful?
Pay attention to your customer, learn about them, know what they want and what they need, and how that intersects with your product and your service offering and your pricing strategy and your marketing strategy. Customer at the center, blinders on to everything else. I think you're in good.
All right, well, that just about wraps it up. Make sure to follow us on all of our digital media platforms at NYSC, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow. Tune in to NYSC TV Live at 9:05 Eastern Time.
Together, we built something truly beautiful in the true iconic notion of what America is all about.
This is our task, this is our mission. We have a clear focus and we have the ability to be agile and innovate.
It takes years of dedication to get us to this milestone. It is all because of you.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It is the only thing that ever has.
To be a woman leader, it's not so easy, but it's easy if the passion and the love is coming from your heart.
The New York Stock Exchange is the symbol of what America is all about. Potential of capitalism, the potential of an American dream.
The only way you can move a society forward is a true expression of freedom.